Hello students, how are you? So loading another lecture, and you can say it is the last lecture of genetic engineering today. So I am starting it, and today is 5th May. So in morning I was busy in the hospital work today. Actually posting in the of technicians in the laboratory. So now I will be starting genetic engineering. Okay. These are the objectives. Explain the basic procedures and methods involved in recombinant DNA technology and genetic engineering. It is very important, and you will find in the examination good questions on it. And today I will upload this, and in you can say or day after tomorrow or tomorrow I will be uploading the northern blotting and western blotting in one lecture. That is video lecture. I have already recorded that in the lecture on today. So it is explain what is meant by cloning of the DNA, describe applications of recombinant DNA technology, explain what is meant by DNA library, describe the techniques used for the identification of DNA sequence, and describe what is meant by restriction fragment length, polymorphism, and its application. Describe the mechanism of polymerase chain reaction, that is PCR, and its application in medical diagnosis and treatment of genetic diseases. Okay. Engineering. Now I'm coming on the topic. Engineering is the designing, construction, and repair structure of non-living things. Okay. Engineering is the designing, construction, and repair of structure of non-living things. You know the mechanical engineers, you know the electrical engineers, you know the food engineers. So they are non-living things. But when we are coming to the genetic engineering, it is the engineering of living system. Genetic engineering is the construction and repair of the genes of living things. And it is possible to synthesize a gene in the laboratory and then introduce it into a living cell which will synthesize protein corresponding to that gene. Understood what I am telling you? It is the, you can say, a particular fragment of a gene, of a DNA is the gene. A functional element of the DNA is the gene. So it is possible to synthesize a gene in the laboratory. Means you synthesize a artificial DNA or DNA or rectify the DNA in the laboratory, which is a gene, and gene is the functional unit of a chromosome. So which means that gene is isolated in the laboratory, and then we will have to see that how this gene is corresponding to the biosynthesis of protein via the messenger RNA. Okay. Come to the recombinant DNA. Okay. Since we will be dealing with the recombinant DNA technology, it is recombinant DNA. We are explaining you. Recombinant DNA is a DNA formed by the hybrid type combination of two DNA fragments derived from different sources. Understand? Recombinant DNA is a DNA formed by the hybrid combination of two DNA fragments derived from different sources. In vivo, genes often undergo recombination. Okay. Genes or sets of genes can also be recombined in vitro. Vitro means in your test tube. Genes of sets of gene can also be recombined in vitro to produce new combinations that do not occur biologically, okay, artificially. And recombinant DNA technology involves isolation and manipulation of DNA to make a hybrid and chimeric DNA molecule. Okay, so it is the recombinant DNA, which is the DNA formed by the hybrid combination of two DNA fragments from different sources. Okay, later on I will be explaining you that. This recombinant DNA is a recombinant DNA containing genes from two different species. Example, molecules containing both human and bacterial DNA sequences. Okay, because you may find one strand from the human beings, one strand from the bacteria E. coli, then it is a recombinant DNA or a DNA hybrid or a chimeric DNA. Chimera was a mythological creature with the head of lion, the body of goat, and the tail of snake. Okay, so this word chimeric DNA is coming from a mythological creature with the head of lion, body of goat, and tail of snake. So you can say a very stranger type of the animal. Head of lion, body of goat, and tail of snake. A number of techniques have been used to construct recombinant DNA. Okay, number of techniques have been used to construct recombinant DNA. So now you got that recombinant DNA is a DNA formed by the hybrid combination of two DNA fragments derived from different sources. And now I gave you example that it is the contain one strand from the human and other strand from the DNA, from the bacterial DNA. They are making a chimeric DNA. Now construction of recombinant DNA. Fragmentation of DNA by restriction endonuclease enzyme. Restriction endonuclease, you understand what is that? Actually, there are two types of nucleases. Okay, nuclease means you can say it is a Caesar. When it is a exonuclease, this exonuclease is working on the terminals 3', 5'. One by one, it will start working from the terminal nucleotides. So that is known as exonuclease. But when a molecule is cutting in between, that is known as endonuclease. And restriction means actually we are having endonucleases. Some are working on adenines. They will make a cut prior to adenine. Some enzymes are making cut prior to thymine. Some before guanine, some before cytosine. So if an enzyme is having a particular property, then to cut before A, G, C or T, it will be a restriction endonuclease. So fragment of DNA by restriction endonuclease enzyme, isolation of specific human DNA, insertion of a isolated human DNA into vector to form chimeric or hybrid DNA molecule. Vector means the other species, maybe bacteria in this case. And joining of two different cut DNA fragments by DNA ligase. Okay? Ligase is a splicing enzyme. Restriction endonucleases. These are found in prokaryotes. Restricted enzyme cut DNA of any source in a sequence-specific manner. What I told you. Okay? Restricted enzymes cut DNA of any source in a sequence-specific manner. And these are found in prokaryotes. The restricted enzymes are named according to the bacteria from which they are isolated. Okay, the restricted enzymes are named according to the bacteria from which they are isolated. EcoR1 is from E. coli. EcoR1. BAMH1 is from Bacillus amyloliquid-fascinates. Okay, BAMHI. Restriction endonuclease recognize a specific base sequence of double helical DNA, usually 4 to 6 base pairs in length, and cleave both strands within its sequence. Okay, restriction endonuclease recognize a specific base sequence of double helical DNA, usually 4 to 6 base pairs in length, and cleave both strands within its sequence, and most of the DNA sequences recognized by the restriction endonucleases are palindromic. Palindromic sequence, both strands of DNA have the same sequence when they are then 5' to 3' direction. Palindromic means ulta सीधा एक समान. Okay, madam in hidden, I am Adam. Okay. So most of the DNA sequences recognized by restriction endonucleases are palindromic, that is both strands of the DNA have the same sequence when read in 5' to 3' direction. In Hindi also I can give you a palindromic sentence, Radha ki buni mein neemu ki dhara. So it is the, when you start from Radha, it is going like this, Radha ki buni mein neemu ki dhara, and backward also you will read it, Radha ki buni mein neemu ki dhara, like that. Most of the DNA sequences recognized by restriction endonucleases are palindromic. That is, both strands of the DNA have the same sequence when read in 5' to 3' direction or 3' to 5' direction. You see this? CTTAAG. CTTAAG. It is 5' to 3', it is 3' to 5', and sequence is same. CTTAAG here and CTTAAG. It is palindromic sequence when read in 5' to 3' sequation and 3' to 5' direction. It is palindromic sequence. Action of restriction endonucleases. Some restricted endonucleases cleave both strands of DNA so as to leave no unpaired bases on either end, and these ends are called blunt ends. Some restricted endonucleases cleave both strands of DNA so as to leave no unpaired bases on either side, and these ends are called blunt ends. Okay, it means if some length of DNA is there and restriction endonuclease is working, then it will work like that, that it will leave no unpaired bases on any side, and this will leave no blunt ends. So you will not find any unpaired base. Okay. Some restricted endonucleases make staggered cuts on the two strands, leaving 2 to 4 nucleotides of one strand unpaired, and each resulting end. These are referred as sticky end or cohesive ends. All right. Different restriction fragments of DNA can base pair with each other if they have sticky ends which are complementary. Okay. Different restricted fragments of DNA can base pair with each other if they have sticky ends which are complementary. Therefore, two unrelated DNA fragments can base pair with each other if they were cleaved by the same restriction endonuclease and fine. All right. Action of restricted endonuclease ECO R1 produce sticky end, and HAE third produce blunt end. They are two restriction endonucleases. ECO R1 and HAE A3 produce blunt end. ECO R1 produce sticky end. Sticky means no unpaired, and blunt end they are living. Blunt end they are not living, and sticky ends when there is a possibility to add 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 nucleotides more, then they are sticky, otherwise blunt. You see this? It is a fragment. GATTC, GAATTC. These are the palindromic sequence. Okay. Now a restriction enzyme, restriction endonuclease is working like this, that it is cutting just after G. Okay, it is cutting just after G. So like that. Here also and here also it is cutting. So what we are having? We are having G here and G here. Okay, this G is separated here. Okay, and this G is combined. So this one, this sorry, this fragment is cutted off. So only this G and this is remaining, and this G it is remaining. So they are sticky ends, because after this we are having this unpaired bases. They are sticky ends. Okay, they are, because T T A T T, they are unpaired bases here after the action of restriction endonuclease. So producing sticky ends. And how the blunt ends, you see, GGCC, and it is cutting the between the second G here and here. So we are getting GGCC, CGCG, and there are two fragments, and we are not getting any base pair loose, only any unpaired base. They all are occupied, so we are getting a blunt ends. Right? Got it? How we are getting a blunt end? By the restriction endonuclease. Yeah, we are getting a, by eco R1 we are getting sticky ends. Unpaired bases are there. And if there is no unpaired base, then we are getting the blunt ends. Come to the isolation of specific human DNA. Once DNA has been cleaved into fragments by restriction endonuclease, a particular fragment of interest can be separated by others by electrophoresis or HPLC, high performance liquid chromatography. Once DNA has been cleaved into fragments by restriction endonuclease. Okay, I have uploaded and the Southern blotting and the action of this drug, Encymivir. Okay, for you. So you go through the video of Southern blotting, and today night or tomorrow I will be uploading this Western blotting and Northern blotting also. So you can see that there also I use the restriction endonuclease, and after the action of endonuclease we get many fragments, and a fragment of interest can be separated by electrophoresis. So there we have used a electrophoresis also. So you can say that part of Southern blotting is coming here, because we are isolating a DNA, a particular fragment of interest. Okay, of fragment of interest means a node or a node sequence of nucleotide can be a fragment of interest, can be separated by others by electrophoresis or high performance liquid chromatography. And insertion of isolated human DNA into vector to form chimeric or hybrid DNA molecule. Vector is bacteria here. Insertion of isolated human DNA into vector to form chimeric or hybrid DNA molecule. A specific selected fragment of DNA in human genome is inserted into vector. That is, vector is a carrier. A specific fragment of DNA, that is known as the target sequence. A specific target sequence of DNA of human genome. Genome is the complete DNA of your human body. A specific selected fragment of DNA of human genome is inserted into vector, that is carrier. Now it is joining of two different cut DNA fragments by DNA ligase. It is the joining of two different fragments. After the fragments of DNA, one from human genome and another from vector DNA have been paired, the ends are covalently joined by the action of DNA ligase. It is like a, you can say it is like a gum molecule. Restriction enzymes in conjugation with the DNA ligase therefore can produce vector containing recombinant or hybrid or chimeric DNA. So after the fragments of DNA, one from human genome and another from vector DNA, have been paired, right? The ends are covalently joined by the action of DNA ligase, and restriction enzymes in conjunction with the DNA ligase therefore can produce vector containing recombinant or hybrid or chimeric DNA. So now you got how we can get a recombinant DNA by using the restriction enzyme first and then DNA ligase. Restriction enzymes of known nature, DNA ligase of known nature. Then we can first cut a target sequence and target sequence from DNA of human being, then cutting a target DNA from the bacteria, and then where we are producing a recombinant strain, and you can say chimeric DNA. Construction of recombinant DNA molecule. So we are having photograph. You see this? It is DNA. It is DNA A vector DNA. Okay. DNA B human DNA. It is G. It is restriction endonuclease. Cutting after this terminal G. Okay. So what we get? We get a single element G and a molecule of valence here without G. We are getting, because this G is separate, this G is separate, so we are getting a G here, and we are getting a segment here. You see human being, same up GATTC. Here also we are applying the same thing. So we are again getting AATTC. Okay. It is the AATTC. And separate is this G. Okay. So these are sticky ends. And you see base joining fragments which are joining by DNA ligase. Okay. They are combining this one and this one. They are combining. AATTC and GAATTC. So it is becoming a recombinant DNA. Base joining of fragments which are joined by DNA ligase, and we are getting a recombinant DNA in which you are getting two fragments, one of human genome and other from the bacteria E. coli. Now come another important term, that is cloning. What is cloning? Cloning is a technique developed by amplifying the quantity of DNA in vivo. Cloning of a technique developed for amplifying the quantity of DNA. And cloning allows the production of a large number of identical DNA molecules. Okay? Cloning is a technique developed for amplifying the quantity of DNA, and cloning allows for the production of a large number of identical DNA molecule, but it is not yeah. Cloning is not yeah. It is only the cloning. Cloning is a technique developed for amplifying the quantity of DNA. And cloning allows for the production of a large number of identical DNA molecules. Cloning of human DNA in bacteria using recombinant DNA technology. So you got this idea. What is recombinant DNA technology? It is the application of two enzymes only. One is restriction endonuclease and second is the ligase. So by two enzymes using, we are getting the two fragments of different species, and if they are combining in a proper fashion. That means they are following the Watson-Crick base pairing rule, and then we are getting a chimeric DNA or recombinant DNA. This is as the recombinant DNA technology. Cloning of human DNA in bacteria using recombinant DNA technology. What is introduction of recombinant DNA into appropriate host cell? Listen what I am telling you. The recombinant DNA is inserted back into bacterial cell. The recombinant DNA means which is the DNA which is formed by human cell and bacterial cell. One strand is from human being, other strand from the recombinant bacteria. So recombinant DNA is inserted back to a bacterial cell by the process called transformation. Those cells that contain recombinant DNA are called transformed cells. Okay, the recombinant DNA inserted back into bacterial cell by the process called transformation, and host cells that contain recombinant DNAs are called transformed cells. The host cells containing the recombinant DNA are incubated under conditions in which they replicate rapidly. Okay, the host cells containing the recombinant DNA are incubated under conditions in which they replicate rapidly, and as the host cell divide, in addition to replicating their own DNA, they also replicate the DNA of the vector, which include the human DNA. Okay, listen carefully. The host cell containing the recombinant DNA, now this recombinant DNA is inserted into vector, so the host cell will start replicating it. The host cell containing the recombinant DNA are incubated under condition in which they replicate rapidly. As the host cell divide, in addition to replicating their own DNA, they also replicate the DNA of the vector, which include the human DNA, means our chimeric DNA also. Subsequently, relatively large quantities of human DNA can be isolated from cells. And if the host cells are grown under conditions permitting expression of human DNA, the human protein produced from this DNA can be isolated. Subsequently, relatively large quantities of human DNA can be isolated from cells, and if the host cells are grown under conditions permitting expression of the human DNA, the human protein produced from this DNA can be isolated. We are doing cloning. So subsequently, relatively large quantities of human DNA can be isolated from cells, and if the host cells are grown under conditions permitting expression of the human DNA, the human protein produced from the DNA can be isolated. Come to this. It is a plasmid. It is a plasmid which is used as the vector. It is human DNA. Okay. Same restriction endonuclease. So we are getting two DNA fragments, and we are integrating these DNA fragments into our plasmid. So annealing, that is known as annealing, and enzyme is DNA ligase. So they are added here, that portion. Chimeric plasmid. Okay. These plasmids are known as extrachromosomal plasmids, extrachromosomal DNA. Okay. Chimeric plasmid recombinant DNA contains plasmid DNA and human DNA of interest. Okay. It is chromosome. Okay. And when host bacterial cell is mixed in it, we are getting a transformed bacterial cell. Here you are getting bacterial cell and your chimeric plasmid. Bacteria are grown to amplify recombinant DNA. To obtain DNA, to obtain protein. To obtain DNA, isolate plasmids, and now they are replicated. So again, cleave with restriction endonuclease, and you can isolate cloned human DNA. Cloned human DNA. Come there. To get protein, grow under conditions permitting expression of cloned genes, means they are allowing the translation, transcription all, and we are getting protein. So you can get a cloned human DNA, you can get the proteins. These are the applications of the recombinant DNA technology. So I think that I should end here, because 30 slides I have taken today. out of 55. So I think I should end here. Thank you very much. And one more lecture is required to complete this chapter. Then I will be ending the molecular. Bye. Thank you very much.